Hi everyone, for this new coral I have used braided cord, and this is 2 mm braided cord. So here I've got a 2 meter cord. I've folded it into half. Now I'm just going to pin it down like just here. Then I've got these 4 cords of 1.5 meter, and these are also folded in half. So I'm just gonna pick one and use lurkhead knot to tie these cords in here. And now I'm just gonna take the bottom or end of the main cord from the pull through the loop, and before pulling it all, what you can do, you can just pull all 3 cords to the end of the loop so that the loop is almost closed, and then you pull the cords the end. Now this is a proper circle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm using one of the cord which were used for the end for the main cord. So these were 2 meter cord basically. So basically if I'm using one of the cord, then it will be 1 meter. So I'll show you now. You just have to be very careful while adding the cords. So take one cord of the 2 meter ones, and as you can see there is a gap. I'll be adding 1 meter cord here. So this is 1 meter cord. I have folded it into half. Again, I'm using the lurkhead knot to attach. So as you can see there are 4 sections basically, 1, 2, 3 and 4, but one of the cord I'm using to go around, and there will be just 1 cord on the 4th section cord. So simply add a cord using, and these cords are 1 meter long. Okay, now you can see this sits properly up here. So now you can take these cords and make double hitch knot using them. So here I made a double hitch knot using these cords. Again a double hitch knot. As you can see the cord is next to it. Right, now you can see there is a gap. So again I'll be adding another 1 meter cord, and every time I'm adding a new cord, I am using lurkhead knot. This is more like a making circular design with the macrame, but after first line you'll see it will change. So here we have added 2 cords. I'm gonna add another one up here. There we go. And again I am making double hitch knot with this section. So if you see here, we have added 3 cords, these 3, and now now we're going to complete our fourth quarter. So before that I'm going to add one cord, and then I'm going to tie the last cord in here. And in this line I have added just 1 meter long cords. Right, so here we complete our one circular line. We're going to make another circular line, and you have to be very careful while you're making this another line. So what you have to do is remember that so in this line, against each 1 meter cord which we have added, so as you know we have added 4 cords up in here, 1 2 3, which we added from in the beginning, and then there should be one more which we added. It's this one. Yeah, so we added these 4 cords. So against every 1 meter cord we're going to add cords of 30 to 35 inch. So these cords I have cut to add against every 1 meter cord, and these are just 35 inches long, and double them and add in a same manner using lurk head knot. There we go. And now, one more thing you have to remember, that the cords, 1 meter cords which I have added, I'm not going to tie them using double hitch knot at all. So I'm just going to keep them out, and that too is forward like that. I'm only going to tie double hitch knot using those first quarter cords which I added. So like these were 1 meter cords. I'm not going to make double hitch knot using them. I'm only going to use these cords to make double hitch knots. So now keep these two away. Now you can see, because this is the second line and there is a still big gap. So what I'm going to do is make cord. So in the second line I'm only adding these cords, small cords. So you might have to add 2 cords against every 1 meter cords basically, because this line is going to be bigger. Now these 2 cords I am using double hitch knot and tying them here, as I said. And again there is, so I added 2 35-inch cords against one meter cord. So this quarter, so there was 1 quarter. Okay, so again this is another quarter. So in this quarter again we have 1 cord of 1 meter. I'm going to add 2 cords, and also remember these cords which we are not going to use as a double hitch knot, going to keep 2 upwards. Okay, now add 2 cords of 35 inches, as we are adding 35 inches cords in the second line. Now again we have 2 lines, so we're just going to tie using double hitch knot. Sorry, not 2 lines, 2 cords. And you can bring it down now. Okay, now we have our another quarter, and we can see our lurket knot and cord. Okay, so again we are going to add 2 cords of 35 inches length. Okay, so here we finished our third quarter, and we're going to add tie using double hitch knot to next 2 lines. Sorry, next 2 cords, not the lines. Okay, now we have our fourth 1 meter long cord. So I'm just again keeping it up just like all of them, and adding 2 cords of 35 inches length. Okay, now in this quarter we only have 1 cord, so I'm just going to add 1 cord in here and tie a double hitch knot. Okay, so here we complete our second line. Okay, so as you can see, against every 1 meter cord we have 2 35 inches cords. So 1 here and here, and then 2 here. Then we're going to have 1 here and then 2 35 inches cords, which are these, and these are the quarter cords. And then again we have 1 meter cord and 2 35 inches cord. So what am I going to do with all of them? So I'm just going to show you 1 quarter. I'm not using these in this process, in the post process right now, so leave them away. These gonna stay like that for now. What am I going to do is take 1 meter cord, which we have in every quarter, and take 1 35 inch cord, and keep 35 inches cord as filler cord, and use 1 meter cord as working cord, and make a spiral knot. So basically this is how I'm making a spiral knot. If you know the square knot, so 1/2 square knot is simply spiral knot. So keep making the knot. So this is gonna look like this, and then we will cut the edges, which I am thinking to cut when I complete all of them. Do this with all the quarters. just like I'm gonna pick these two this time. So what I do, I try to pick the front one, so this 35-inch one is coming in front of this one, so I'm just picking that. So here on the second next line, what I'm going to do is add the 1 meter cords, because before that we added the smaller cord which represents 35-inch. The smaller cords are 35 inches long. So in here on every quarter, as you can see, I'm adding 3 cords of 1 meter, and then I'm tying the 2 cords which we added in the first line using double hitch knot, as you can see here. So we have completed 1 quarter. Now I'm going to do the same and add 3 more 1 meter cords in the next quarter. And the 135-inch cord, as you can see, I'm keeping it up, not down, because then we're going to use that cord to make another this spiral line. So again, after completing the second quarter, as you can see, I've added 3 more 1 meter long cords, and then I'm tying two next 2 cords to complete this quarter using double hitch knot. And then again, there is 135-inch cord from the line before this, which I'm keeping it up, and then adding next 3 cords. So I completed the 4th line by adding 3 cords of 1 meter in each quarter. So basically I've added 12 cords in total in 4th line, and they were of 1 meter length. And that's how I completed. And what am I going to do in this after completing the quarter is again make these spiral lines. So as you know, that we had 135-inch long cord, and then we added in the next one 1 meter length cord. So what am I going to do using one of the 1 meter long cord and 35-inch cord? I'm going to make this a spiral line, so keeping the 35-inch cords in the middle as a filler cords and 1 meter cords as working cords. So there will be 1 more spiral line in each quarter in the 4th line. So complete all 4 spiral lines, and then we will start making a 5th line of the circle. So here I'm making the fourth spiral line in this fourth circle, and after I finish that, what I'm going to do again, make fifth line. So here is our main cord which we are using to make our circles. So as you can see, we only used one of the 1 meter long cord, and we have two cords left from the last circle. So what we're going to do this time is add 35 inches cord and keeping those two 1 meter long cords up. So here I have kept the two cords up, and then adding 35 inches long cord here. So I'm going to use the 35-inch long cord and 1 meter long cord next time to make another next the spiral lines in the next round. So as you can see, in this quarter I've added 3 cords of 35 inches. I'm gonna keep doing the same. So in the first quarter I added 3 cords of 35 inches length, and I'm going to do the same in the rest 3 quarters, and then I will make the spiral lines as we made in the earlier circles. So in this circle, in this line, in the fifth line, we will be able to make 2 spiral lines, as we know that from the last circle or the fourth circle we have 2 cords of 1 meter length left, and this time we have added 3 cords of 35 inches length. So we will be using two 1 meter long cords and two 35 inches long cord to make 2 spiral lines in each quarter. So we will be making 8 spiral lines in this circle. So here you can see I've cut all the edges off from the each spiral line. So you can do the same, or you can do at the end. So I just did before I made my last circle, so you can do either way. So I've cut all the edges or the extra cords from the very end, and then I added some glue or fabric glue at the end and let it be dry, and then it just looks so amazing in itself. So now on the next line I'm going to add the longer cords so that I can use these smaller cord and the next longer cords to make one of these, the spiral cords. So here we go. Here I am going to add one. So one will be for obviously this one, and here you can see there is a gap. So you can see there is a gap of two. So I'm just going to add two cords and that two longer one, and on the next one we'll add small cords to cover these two. Okay, so these two, now we have completed 1/4. Now we have the cords which we use to tie. So I'm just gonna tie double each knot using them. Okay, before going to the next one, I can make one more spiral, or I can continue adding it and then make a spiral. So in the next cord I have added 3 longer cords basically in that line.
ਤੂੰ ਮਨਜੀਤ ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਦਾ ਕਿਨੂੰ ਵਾਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਣਾ, ਮੈਂ ਭੁੱਖੀ ਮਰ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੀ। ਤੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਨੂੰ ਵਾਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਣਾ। ਬੁਲਾ ਨਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾ। ਲਾਲਚੀ ਢੀ ਲਾਲਚੀ ਹੈ। ਜਾ ਜਾ ਜਾ।
here I have completed this. Now we don't have any any to make, so what I can do next, go on to next quarter, and as you can see we have smaller cords. So against this I'll be adding again the longer cords. So that's what I have been doing. So in one line I have added smaller cords, in one line I have added longer cords, so that I can make spiral knot using smaller one and longer one. So as we are adding 3 cords in each quarter this time, so I'm gonna add 3 of them. So here we completed 3, and now as we complete this quarter we have these 2 which we've been using to tie double H knot. So we're gonna just tie double H knot here. Okay, and then complete one more line up here, just like this one, and complete the whole quarter, and then we will carry on with the next one. So here on I have completed all the knotting with the one I had in the first line. So I basically had in the first line 1 small cords, and I used, like in here I used 1 longer cord from this line to complete this. So now we don't have any except this one, and we don't have any any cord against this. So I'm going to use these 2 after finishing one line, except that this will be my last line. So in this line what we did, we added longer cords. So as you can see there are 2 longer cords, so we have to add 2 smaller cords against them, but there is a gap. So what I'll do is add 1 small cord and 1 long cord, so that we can use this small cord and the next longer cord to make 1. Basically, there we go. I'll be using this small cord which I just added and the longer cord to make 1 spiral long coral, and then I'll be tying 2 small cords here against these 2 to make so it will be against this one, and another one will be against next one. And because this is our last line, we will need 1 cord next to these 2 which I'll be tying, so that we can make 1 more coral line using that one and these 2 longer one, as these 2 are longer one. There we go. So I'm adding these 2, and then I'm going to have a double hitch knot using these 2 as we finish the quarter, and I'm going to do the same in the rest of the quarter. So again what will I do is, so here we finish. So as I said, in this last line we will be using this short cord and these 2 which we tied longer cords to make 1 coral line. And then again here in this quarter, just like the last one, we need 1 small cord and 1 longer cord. So here we go, the small cord, and then 1 cords against these 2 longer cords which were in the last line to make 2 more lines, spiral lines basically. So here I added 1 small cord and 1 long cord to finish this, to complete this gap, and then I added 2 small cords against these 2, and then I also added 1 more small cord to, so that we can use that small cord and these 2 longer cords to make a spiral knot line, which like we made here. So we finish another quarter. Again in this quarter you can see there is a gap, so against this gap again we will add 1 small cord and 1 long cord. And then complete this gap. So here I have added all the quarters. In this last quarter I added, and so this is going to be last quarter. So in this quarter, as you can see, there are 3 cords, longer cords, so I'm going to add 3 small cords so that we can use both to make spiral lines. As you can see, we had in the last quarter just 1 longer cord, which I'm just gonna tie, and against that I have a small cord, so I'll be using these 2 cords and the small cords to complete 1 spiral line. Okay, that's how we finish our coral. So I'm just gonna make spiral line using these 2. First, the ending, okay, and keep doing. And then again, as I said last time, I have added 2 cords, one longer and 1 small, to fill the gap, and then I'm going to use these 2 to make 1 spiral line. So that's how I will start. Yeah, there will be a small gap here as we're not tying the first line and second line cords, but that is the last line, so I guess we can match it up and we can complete our coral. So keep doing this and complete this as well, just like the others. And then again, as we have 2 longer cords on the first line, and in the last line we have 2 smaller cords, so I'll be using them to make spiral lines, and keep doing it around this line, and that will be our last line. And because this time we are not leaving any cords, like these ones too, because we are using these two lines next to those small chords, these two chords next to those small chords, to complete one spiral line, and then we finish our coral. So here I have finished most of the spiral lines except the last one. So I'm gonna make the last one and then finish our coral. So as you can see, this looks amazing in itself. I call it sun coral because it does look like a sun coral to me. And please tell me in comments, how did you like it? Was it helpful? Was it easy to make? Because I found when I tried making it, I didn't know it will be so easy to make. And yeah, I totally loved this coral. Thank you so much for watching.